What's up, brother?
What's up, homie?
There he is. I knew that had to be you, the Spartan.
Dude, what's up? You know what's funny is Mike, they've been calling me that for so fucking long.
Yeah.
And after I came out of the hospital, everybody started calling me that because they're like we were at jiu-jitsu on Monday, and Yago D'Souza, this guy's such a badass. Like if you look this guy up, he's fucking
I know that name. I know
yeah,
that.
he is such a beast and just one of the coolest dudes. Like the most lethal human beings I know are
Does
the
he run the academy that you roll at?
Yeah, 316. And he made a comment about like to my son, he's like, you know what? Get up, do it again. And my son's pretty savage, like he's like that. And he's like, get up, you know what? Your dad trains every day. He does it every day. And he goes, ain't that right, Spartan? And he looks up at me over there. And I'm like, he's right. But of course, everybody's like, Spartan, who's that? Like, I mean, but look at me. Everybody's like, fuck, I look like it.
Well, you definitely look like it, man. Dude, it's so good to have you here. Thanks for joining me today.
I'm so stoked, dude. We are gonna light this fucking thing up.
Oh, dude, I know we are. We're gonna blow it to pieces.
Dude,
I just wanted to first off just a little bit about you. You know, Trevor, is it Bachmeyer?
Yeah, you got it right. Most people don't hit it right. That's second person now. Yesterday I was on a podcast too with Swolverine with Alex, and she said it right.
No kid, it's Swolverine. That's amazing.
It was right on.
Incredible.
We lit that up yesterday too, and I got another one coming out of Dubai on tomorrow. They're all of a sudden like nonstop invites, and I was like, "Fuck, let's go!" But like that's okay. The point is like I'm not some shitbag trying to like, hey, buy my shit. I'm not hawking gear. I'm like, fuck, you guys need to change.
Right.
The world is filled with soft ass people. What are you doing,
bro? We got to get this message out there. You know what I'm saying? Like more and more men need us. They need direction
so badly.
They need
so badly,
because there are so many men that go through their entire lives without strong masculine direction. Dude, and that's extremely damaging.
It hurts because, like, I mean, I'm 50, and the big thing people always say is they're like, dude, yeah, but that's not normal. Motherfucker, I am normal. This is normal. Right. You've been indoctrinated to think that being soft and pasty and weak and just this beta fucking soft, and it's caught. Like, and I mean, we could save this for the podcast unless we're just lighting it up now.
We're just lighting it up, dude. We're just
okay, perfect.
This is organic.
Well, that's it then. It's like it's caught. Nobody teaches you how to be soft. Mm-hmm. They don't teach you how to be less of a man, less of a woman, less like women are designed to be strong. When like my wife was in line, we were at Universal Studios, and you've seen Brandy, like she's jacked as fuck, and she's so strong, and like I guarantee she will slaughter most dudes in almost any workout. And I love that. Like I find it so fucking sexy. Yeah. And I love that because I don't have to worry about her. I know she's strong. Mm-hmm. You know, and we were in line, and I was outside doing some work, and they were in I don't even remember the ride, but there was somebody there that said this girl was looking at my wife, and the dad goes, oh yeah, but guys don't like girls that look like that. Says it to his daughter. Dude, you ignorant fuck. If I would have been there, I would have been like, are you shitting me? I'd be like, your daughter right now should go and just get as jacked as fuck, as fit as hell, and show you that that's how you're designed to be.
So the dad said that to
the daughter
of your wife.
Yeah, to the daughter. And I'm like, you are such a weak fuck. And of course, he's all pasty white with big old missile tits. And
of course, he's got
insecure.
Yes.
Insecure.
He saw a woman like yours, and immediately was his deep down, there's a man in all of us. It doesn't matter what we look like. They could look like us, or they could look like him. Deep down, there's still a man. You know what I mean? And that man, when it's violated and confronted like that, it's to do weak ass shit like that, tear up people down.
You're right. There's only two ways to make yourself bigger, right? You can either build the biggest building in town, or you can tear everybody else down to look like the biggest building in town. Most people choose the latter.
They always choose the latter.
It's the weakest form of anything is to come out as an attack for the truth, right? People look at accountability, and accountability always feels like an attack to those who hide behind their excuses. I've said this so many times. I'm like, well, I feel like you're kind of like, you're attacking me though. Like, some people can't help being fat. Listen, I've never accidentally eaten a fucking thing. So I'm going to tell you right now,
save your bullshit. A bunch of fries.
Yeah, save your bullshit. And I struggle because I made a post the other day and I said, listen, if your kids are fat, you made them that way. Don't you fucking dare put it on their genetics, their health. I've been a doctor for 23 years. I have never seen big bones on an x-ray.
Never.
Show me a big bone person, motherfucker.
It doesn't exist.
No.
I was saying that the other day. I said there's somebody out there with a thyroid condition that's 200 pounds overweight, and then there's somebody out there with a thyroid condition that's running ultra marathons. You know what I'm saying?
Your decisions.
Yes.
Your life is predicated on your decisions and conversations that you have, and the conversations you have with yourself. You know, people go, well, we've come into a time, like, how old are you, Mike?
Oh, me, 31.
Yeah, 31. So, but you're an old soul, right? Like, and that's like the way you interact.
I've heard that a couple times, yeah.
But that's a compliment, because like I look at you and like we vibe on the same frequency, but that's life, right? Like you resonate at such a high frequency. You personally, Mike, I mean, like that's why we get along. Yeah. Because people that don't run at a really high output, high level, high frequency, like your level of vibration is so high, you're obnoxious to those people. Like you're just like, fuck, I can't stand this guy. So they only have two choices. They either change. Yeah, they either change or they fucking leave.
Right.
Right. And I'm fine with either one. I actually don't want them to leave. I'd like to help them. But people take it as, you're not helping me, you're insulting me. No, I'm just telling you the truth. And that's the struggle people have, is they're like, I don't really want to hear the truth, though. I want to hear something.
Want to hear the truth
softer.
They don't want to hear it.
Dude, I'm telling you, know what my dad always said? My dad was a preacher. And he always said, tell the truth, there's less to remember. I've lied. I've been that fucking piece of shit. I'm not going to ever do that again. Because you have to wind up carrying all this baggage. And then for every bullshit story even if you tell it to yourself, you tell it to yourself, you have to lie to yourself, except that the issue becomes now, you know where all your secrets are. So you can't hide. And that's where people manufacture their own issues. Like 99% of the problems people have are manufactured problems inside their own head, except that they look externally for a cure. But imaginary demons have no cure.
None.
So you look outside for something that's inside, because if the problem is inside, so is the solution.
The dirtiest, hardest work is inside every single time.
And it produces the best results.
Yes. Every single time.
Exponential. When I changed my thinking, like my wife and I, we've been married for, God, almost 18 years. Fuck, I love the
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. I love the shit out of my wife. Like, oh, fuck, I love her so much. And like, I am like crazy giddy excited when I see my wife all the time. And it's been 18 years and I look at her.
You could tell, just watching your social media, you could tell how genuinely in love with her you are. Like you're not faking it, you're not forcing it for appearances, you're not trying to be an influencer with it. Like your relationship, you could genuinely tell how
She's my best friend.
Your wife. Yes.
Oh, I love that. That matters to hear that, because there's so many phony fucks out there that do it and it's so manufactured. I'm like, listen, first of all, she is my best friend. There is nothing about, we have no secrets ever. And I made a post about that when we were in Florida, I guess about a week and a half ago.
I think I saw that one.
Yeah, where I said, if somebody is willing, like I don't even know if you know my story, but like I didn't have a lot of time when I met my wife.
Well, I wanted to hear. I know the listeners are going to want to hear your story.
I'll explain it. I'll explain it in a second. But that's the thing is, when you go all in, and I mean all in, and you know this, like, I mean, look, you're fit, you're successful, you have a great life. It's because you're not dipping your fucking toe in the water.
Right.
You either, like when you're running, you don't have the bandwidth as a man or a woman to contain two different dialogues with any kind of efficacy. It is not possible. So when you go, like if I was in this podcast right now, but I have Netflix going in the background and I'm like, yeah, this is really great. Huh? Yeah. What'd you say? Sorry, I missed that. Like,
exactly.
It doesn't matter how good somebody is. You cannot have competing dialogues within the confines and the guardrails of your mind.
Chase two rabbits, catch neither. That's what I always remember.
Fucking zero.
Rabbits, catch neither.
So that's what happens in a relationship. It's what happens in fitness. It's what happens in business is people go, okay, I'm going to give this a shot. I'm going to try this out. Usually when people join my coaching program, like we have a Spartan army. Like I don't have people go, I used to have like 200 different products, right? It was like a Chinese fucking menu, like just nonstop shit all over the place. And nobody was buying my stuff, or they basically talked themselves out of it, or it would be too complicated. So what's the easiest thing on an automated website to do if it's complicated? Leave.
Yep.
There's no one there to talk to, right? And I pride myself in not having a bunch of bots answering questions. So I finally went, what do I really believe in? What has changed my life? Because if you personify the teachings, it's very easy because I haven't sold anything to anybody ever. I just go, this is my life. What you're thinking is giving you your life. What I did gave me mine. So you're going to listen to me.
Yeah.
And they go, fuck, I needed a coach like this. And I don't put up with bullshit and I stand on your throat. And people go, so you like a personal trainer? Fuck no. We build savage, badass motherfuckers. The most elite business, make the most money, the most passionate marriages, the most jacked physique. I don't care if you're 70 or you're 20, but I'll tell you this, it is always a year. When people, can I try it for a month? I'm not your guy. It is a year. Well, can I just pay for a month? You can't
make any change in a month or even 3 months.
You know that. And it took me a year. And I promise you, I'm probably one of the most disciplined people on the planet.
I don't doubt that.
Thank you. And I say that with all this,
man.
And I say that with respect, but if I took a year and I went all in with oxygen hanging out of my face, 150 pounds. I had a guy the other day, it was the funniest fucking thing. I made a post about, I was telling a story. I was over at Andy's event hanging out with him. And I was like, 20 minutes after surgery, I said, get me up. And they're like, oh, no. I go, listen, you can pick me up off the floor, or you can help me walk around this fucking room. I'm getting out of this bed. And I had tubes coming out of my chest, garden hose size. Like they're like this fucking big. And IVs I had an IV in my shoulder. I've been a doc, like I said, for 20 plus years. I've never put an IV in a shoulder. And there's an IV right here. It was the wildest thing. And all this stuff in a box filled with my blood, and I'm a vacuum hose connected to the wall. And it's interesting that people instantly become cynical because of all the bullshit in the world. Right. And part of me goes, dude, do you fucking know me? Like, it's not meant to be arrogant, but I'm like, do you fucking know me? Have you ever seen me? It is everywhere. Right. Like, you can't make it up. I'm everywhere. You type in Trevor Bachmeyer and I'm like the first 5
right up there. Yeah. And so got like 1.2 million Instagram followers.
Yeah. And it's from genuinely putting out the content that I want to give people to help. And this guy goes, you know what? He goes, I'm sure we'll never see this mysterious video of this, but you know what? Whatever, bro. And I'm going, and I just happened to post a quick, like 30-second story of from A to Z, right? And I was like, oh, fuck. I go, hey, don't worry, princess. I'll tag you in it, Cupcake. And this morning I checked, I said to Brandy, I go, hey, the fucking guy ghosted and blocked me.
You gotta love it when you bring the receipts for the haters.
I love that.
When you bring the receipts for the haters, they never come back. Go on.
First of all, I love haters. I fucking love haters. People get real weird. They tuck their balls away and they're like, oh, but what if people don't like me? You want people to not like you.
As soon as you get, and that's the thing is, you're not doing anything of consequence. You're not doing anything special if you don't have haters. Like if you're actually doing
with everybody else,
you should have some resistance. You know what I mean?
Substantial.
If everybody loves you, that's usually a pretty good indicator that you don't have strong morals. Convictions, because if you had strong morals and convictions, especially in this world that's just morally just
button heads,
exactly, you're gonna fall. You're gonna butt heads with people. I wanted to just ask you. You mentioned, you seem very specific. It took me a year.
Yep.
What was the catalyst? What happened? What made you become the person that you are right now?
Sure. That's the right question. And that shows skill in interviewing, by the way. So, and that's good.
You're my first one ever. So,
dude, but even rapping with you online, man, like you're just a good fucking dude. And I like that. But like attracts like, right? Like that's,
amen.
I think people struggle to understand that, but they're like, everybody hates me, nobody likes me. You're attracting them. Fuck.
It's the person that goes from bad relationship to bad and all men are bad or all
dude that's been married 7 times. I'm like, you need to take a class, man. You suck.
Look at you.
Right? Yeah. But so when I was in the hospital, and I'm telling you, this is the most wild story I think possible. And that is like, we came home from Disney World. I'd taken my family for the very first time. And they'd never been, right? I'd been there, but my wife and kids have never. So I was like, fuck it, let's go. So we stayed in this dope ass hotel, you know, just this shuttle and water taxi and all this stuff to the park. It was so badass. We had so much fun. And we come home and my wife was just starting to get a little bit of like, just the cold, like the sniffles and stuffed up nose. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go outside and work out. And I felt pretty good. And I went outside, did the workout, came in. My son was getting sick. And as I'm sitting on the couch, I had this tickle in my chest, and I was like, fuck, I'm getting this damn cold. All right, fuck it, I'll work out tomorrow. Well, the next day I worked out. I'm like, man, I'm starting to feel pretty shitty. That was the beginning. 4 days later, I'm in ICU fighting for my life.
But I bet you right then and there, you thought nothing of it. No business.
Nothing. Zero. I went in, so I've been, like I told you, I went in there running at 95%. And what I mean by that, Mike, is that I always was fairly certain that I walk the talk.
Right.
Like I've always been that guy where it's like, if I say I'm going to do it, I'm fairly certain I'm going to do it. But there was that 5% where I'm like, fuck, I really don't know. And there's always it's always dudes, and they're always weak. And they're the ones that go, oh, bro, I would have done the same thing. No, you wouldn't have. No, you wouldn't have. Because you're talking as if you would. And that already tells me that you need to advertise.
Yes.
You wouldn't have. I
or
know
they
that.
advertise, the less they're about that life.
Yeah. And that's what I think. That's what I think this has really corrupted people in, is because they're showing the Lambos and the Ferraris and all that stuff. And I'm like, listen, I love that. I think you should show your wins. I really do, because it shows people what's possible. The weak ones go, you're bragging. The strong ones go, how do I do it? Show me. Whatever it costs me to join your program, whatever it costs me to take an hour of your time for lunch so I can pick your brain, tell me, I want to do it. That's what I think people should be doing. You have a great marriage, how'd you fucking do it? Right. You have a killer business, how'd you do it? Right? But most people don't. They go, it's probably all bullshit, because of all the bullshit. Right?
Right.
So when I'm in the hospital, and I don't remember my wife even being there the first time I was in ICU. My son was like, she was there every day. I'm like, holy shit, I don't remember. That's all. Excuse me. That's how fucked up I was. Is I was on, they had me lanced with all kinds of drugs. I don't even remember half the stuff they had me on, except for one, remdesivir. And it is the most toxic fucking dangerous shit. If you just Google it after we're done, you're going to see nonstop, like nobody should ever get that, except that was the remdesivir.
Remdesivir. Gotcha.
Yeah. It's this cures everything, any viral. And they tried to label me with that C19 thing, but they tested me 4 times IgG, which is blood. They nose fucked me once, never came back positive.
You got the full swab.
Yeah. Like, dude, they scratched my brain, right? But I'm sitting in the hospital, and Mike, it's the only time in 48 years I actually thought I was going to die. And I'm sitting there in this bed. I was breathing about 500 cc's of air, which is about 4,000 less than I should.
So, how many kids did you have at this point? So you think you're going to? So you had 2 kids.
We have 2 kids. I have a 13-year-old and a 16-year-old.
Think you're going
to? And then, yeah, I know. This was 20 months ago, right? And I thought I was going to die. And I remember laying there. It's the first time it hit different. And I can't explain it. Like, I believe in God. People do, they don't. That's on them. But it doesn't matter. What I sat there and I went, holy fuck, I'm really going to die. Mm-hmm. And I felt it. And it's anybody that would see this and has actually been in that position is going to know exactly that feeling. It's not the, bro, I almost died. It's not that. This was real. Like, I actually felt this almost weird peace where I'm like, I'm going to fucking go. Holy shit. So I grab my phone. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I start texting my wife. And we have no secrets. Like, there's nothing that my wife doesn't know about me and that I don't know about her, good, bad, or otherwise, because we're in this for the duration, which is, again, how a marriage should be.
Yes.
And whether you fuck up or not, it doesn't matter. You guys know each other's business so well that you don't have to go, fuck, I hope she doesn't find out. That's how relationships fucking get screwed up.
Right.
Again, it goes back to the bandwidth, right? They're running 2 different conversations. What can't I tell her? What can? Fuck, just tell her everything.
Yeah.
If she bounces, she wasn't in it.
Yeah. 100%.
Right? It's that simple. But I was texting her and she knows everything about our life, but I was texting her everything about how to run our life. Passwords, business, like where things were, how to do things, like literally everything. And I'm just sitting here crying as I'm doing it. I'm like, fuck. And I kept thinking, God, I'm going to miss being with my wife. I'm going to miss being with my kids. It was the most odd feeling because you're going to be dead. But yet I'm going, fuck, I'm not ready yet, man. She doesn't miss, this is twice she's done this in my life. She doesn't miss a beat. And she goes, I need you. You can't die. I love you. You're my best friend. I need you. I can't do life without you. And I got so fucking angry.
Angry. I was going to say mad. I'm trying to put myself
furious.
in the shoes. I'm like, I'm
furious. I was so furious. Like, I mean, like seething rage.
I bet you wished your sickness was an entity that you could just beat the shit out of.
Yep. That's exactly how I treated it. Is I took everything that was inside me and I put it out in front of me and I went, you're going to fucking die. And everything inside, I mean, you could feel that. Like, I was like, you're going to die. And I changed everything like this. And all of a sudden Brandy was doing research on some of the stuff they were trying to give me. And it turns out remdesivir has catastrophic and fatal effects in 5 days. I was on it for 4. And she comes in and she's like, babe, I don't think what they're giving you is helping you. And I trust my wife. So I went, well, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And so they're like, you're going to die if you leave. And I'm like, I think I'm going to die if I stay.
I'm going to die if I stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all my sats and my health metrics and everything were going down again after they started giving me this drug. And God, I've gotten so much hate for this conversation because people are like, oh, you're one of these conspiracy theorists. I almost fucking died. Fuck you. Right? Like, I'm not, real, right? Dude, and most of the conspiracies on a pivot, they're fucking right half the time.
They've all been right for the past 2-3 fucking years, man. All of them have been right.
I just live for this shit. I'm the guy that pushes the hot button all day because I just get off on that because it gets people to go, oh, it makes them think, right? Critical thinking. So on the last day I was in for 7 days, I think. It might be 6. I really don't remember. That's how fucked up I was. And I'm sitting there with an oxygen tank and they're like, you're going to be on oxygen for the rest of your life. I'm weak as hell. And it doesn't matter. We get in the car. I got the cannula on. I look like an octogenarian rolling around, right? Because I had this oxygen. I couldn't survive without it at the time. So I get home. I bring home an oxygen machine. If you look at my old videos, I called it my blue buddy. It's that blue thing in my videos.
That big thing.
Yeah, that box on wheels. Yeah. So that followed me everywhere. I couldn't sleep without it. I couldn't do anything without it. But I went, I don't give a shit. I'm going to work out. I'm going to work out with this fucking thing on. I don't care.
What kind of, real quick, I don't think we established, what kind of cancer was this?
So it was just a giant malignant tumor in my chest, but that wasn't there yet. I had just catastrophic pneumonia. Oh yeah, this gets gnarly. So I'm home and I'm working out and I'm on this oxygen. I start to wean myself off of this O2. I was like, okay, I'm sweating like crazy. Like if you look at my old videos, I'm literally about as big as this straw. You know, I'm so skinny and so weak, but I didn't care.
Completely different. Completely different.
Yeah. And so all of a sudden I started getting this brutal back pain, like an 11 out of 10. And it takes a lot to shut me down. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, something's not right. I stopped sweating. I had to be back on full saturation oxygen again. Something's not right. And so I told my wife, I said, you know, we need to go to urgent care. I need to go get checked out just for a follow-up, right? I knew something was wrong, but I was trying to just make her feel safe, right? Because I watched her face just white going, fuck. Because they locked her out of the hospital. The first time I was there, they walked in when I was in ICU. The night I got there, where I walked in at 106-degree fever. I couldn't even walk. Mm-hmm. And she had to carry me in. And thank God my wife is strong. And I'm in there and they kicked her out, locked her out, and she's out. I didn't even know this until later. She's hysterical on the phone with her friend Lizette, who's also a very great friend of ours, going, I'm never going to see my husband again. He's going to die. And I can't imagine that. I was so furious, Mike, when I heard that. I'm like, you fucks locked my wife out of the hospital when her husband's in there. I couldn't see my kids. I couldn't see my wife. I got video of them 3 floors down outside the window waving at me because I couldn't see them. It's a nightmare. That's our healthcare system.
Nightmare.
Fuck all of them.
Dude, it's so bad. It's so bad. The COVID nonsense, it revealed
the corruption in the whole system. Yep.
Corruption.
Yep. So I went in and they took an x-ray of my chest. And I mean, I've seen, I don't know, 100, 200,000 x-rays. I've seen a few. And I walk around the corner to the view box and I just kind of touch Brandy's face and I'm going to be okay. Just going to eat probably some antibiotics and I'll be fine. Mm-hmm. And I come around the corner and I see this huge mass in my chest.
So you knew, being a doctor, right away.
Yeah, I knew right away as soon as I saw it. It's about the size of a football.
What type of doctor are you, by the way? I don't mean to interrupt.
Well, I went in for trauma surgery first, and then after that, I did sports med and then chiro and PT. So I've done the gambit.
So you're well versed enough to look around the corner, see that.
Absolutely.
Like, oh shit.
I've seen one or two, and I looked at it and I went, holy fuck. And the guy goes, you need to go to ER right now. Like right now. They didn't even have me fill out paperwork. They're like, go right now. And ER was like across the street, basically. And Brandy was, all of a sudden, the temperature in the room changed. Like she was terrified. And I get in there and I thought, okay, maybe they're going to aspirate some big pus pocket. I wasn't sure what it was. Yeah. The doctor puts his hand on my arm and he goes, oh, no. He says, you need surgery. Like you're going to be here a while. And I'm like, that's when I went, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, thoracic surgery, you start at the top of the food chain. The next step up is brain surgery, right? Like it doesn't get any bigger than that. Right. So I was there for 3 days in this little glass box, like an ER, like waiting room, these tiny little shitty boxes. And they couldn't find a surgeon. They couldn't find a hospital. Everything was at capacity. There were people in the hallways sleeping in chairs and a tent outside filled with COVID patients, right? And I'm like, holy fuck. And they're like, we're going to have to send you out of state. And I was doing this, Mike. I was getting worse and worse. I couldn't have this conversation without being out of gas.
Right.
I'd be winded. And I couldn't walk to the bathroom without, like, I was fucked. And I finally, like, Brandy left on day 3. She'd bring me breakfast every day and hang out with me. And, you know, I mean, she had to be self-sufficient as fuck. And she is a badass woman. Like, I shit you not, man. She is incredible. And I went, fuck. What do I do, man? So I started thanking God. I said, thanks for the best surgeon, covering me in muscle, giving me another 50 years. Literally, like, just thanking him for everything, nonstop. And I'm standing there. And then I sat on the edge of the bed. 10 minutes later, I shit you not, on the glass. And then it opens up and he goes, Trevor Bachmeyer? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, just letting you know, your ride for your surgery tomorrow is going to be here in a half an hour to take you to Dallas Presby. I started bawling. I'm like, holy fuck. And I literally look up and I'm like, unreal. I text Brandy, get the kids. I got surgery tomorrow. She freaks out. Boom, right behind the ambulance the whole way to Dallas. I get in there. I asked for the best surgeon in the world. I said, thanks for the best surgeon in the world. The guy I got, the best thoracic surgeon in the United States.
What hospital was this again?
Dallas Presby.
Okay, got you.
And I'm standing there, and so I kissed, and that's how it started. And then, I mean, he was this dry, like, kind of dry, witty humor. Came in gator skin shoes, like making stupid amounts of money. But he was fucking dope.
Probably
I said,
genius. It's probably a genius, bro.
Such a good dude. Yeah. And I said, am I going to be okay? And he goes, I've done about 750 of these. I think you'll be all right.
That's what I want to hear, man.
Fucking love this guy, right? Yeah. But I've been on the other end of that knife.
Sure.
Surgery, man.
Anything could happen.
So, yeah, and it did. So I go into surgery the next day at 12:30. Yeah, it gets funky. So they're so high tech that they do text messages to whoever is your person that you choose. Could be anybody, right? Well, this is Brandy. Yeah, this case it was Brandy. And so they're texting her. Well, the surgery took 45 minutes longer than it should have, which is an eternity when you're waiting. You know, it's not like they're working on my wrist, right? Like it's a big deal. And what ended up happening was they nicked my aorta. I lost 1 liter of blood. Like, I didn't even know this until I looked at my medical records. And I went, holy shit. Well, you pump 5 liters of blood a minute. You lose 1 liter. That's 20% of your blood volume gone.
20% of your whole supply.
Yeah. And I thought about this. I thought, if the surgeon had just made a different decision and gone, I can't stop the bleeding. And then look at the clock and go, call it time of death. That's all it would have taken. That's all it would have taken in that moment.
I mean, they handle things that flippantly like that?
I mean, think about it. If he was like, we can't stop the bleeding, and they're trying, and they're like, I mean, it is all based on them, right? And I'm in there. It was a robot, Mike. It was a fucking robot that did the surgery. 6 arms in me.
That's terrifying.
And he was sitting there with a Nintendo joystick.
Yeah, guiding it.
I'm probably 10 feet away, right? Just with his face in a camera. And the most badass thing. So they took out the tumor, and they wound up taking out my lung, which wasn't supposed to happen. And I came out of surgery. I was still high as fuck. You know, the first thing I asked for, I don't even remember this, was my wedding ring. So first thing I asked for going down the hall. Who you are is exposed in times of a catastrophe.
100%.
You brings you right down to your
bare bones core.
Nope. Doesn't matter what you say. Who you are will be introduced to you in times of trial. Always. And that, it made me feel so good about who I am, because I went, that's who I am. I respect my
husband, a father.
Yep. I'm all of those things. And I went, that matters, because people talk the talk, but very few people walk it. And I'm in there 20 minutes in, still high. And so right before I went into surgery, Mike, I handed my wife my phone, and I said, no matter what, you film everything, which could have been catastrophic, right?
Yeah.
And like, it could have been the most hysterical, terrifying experience ever. And there I am, high as a kite, and this, like, tubes in me everywhere. I mean, you've seen the pictures and videos. I look like death.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I'm just like all fucked up. And then that's when I told him, get me up. And there's video of me walking around this room, you know, doing laps. And then next thing you know, I started doing them. As soon as they unplugged me from that wall, I'm doing laps around the nurse's station. It took me about, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 minutes to do one lap the first time, because I'd have to keep stopping and taking a knee, because my sats would drop so sharply, right? I'd get dizzy and I was going to fall down.
After all that, and now you're missing the lung, you're down one lung, right?
Yeah, he took a knee, and this is why I tell people, I go, dude, like, our coaching company, the fucking Spartan Army, is fitness first. People go, well, I need a business program. That's what we do. I need a mindset program. That's what we do. I don't need a workout program. It comes with it. It's the first fucking thing you're going to do, because if you're not fit, everything else is going to fall apart. I know fat, rich people. Listen, your fitness is first. And here's why I said that, because a doctor took a knee in front of or beside me and said, if you would, 2 things. He went, the surgery went great, but we had to take your lung. He says, we had to remove the left lung. And he said, and if you wouldn't have been in the shape you were in when you came into the hospital, he goes, you wouldn't have made it.
Would have died. And you could have all the money in the world, but if your body
cannot buy another day,
shit, you ain't gonna be, you're not gonna last. People don't understand, like, how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Fact.
I personally do not believe that you can be. I think that if somebody is very wealthy but physically out of shape, there are other areas of their life, marriage, parenthood, whatever, demons in the background that other people may not be able to see up front that are tormenting them, because, again, how you do one thing is how you do everything. If you are really, truly sound body, spirit, and mind, it shows in every single area. You can't. Alignment propagates across all systems and all arenas in your body and life, right? And I tell people, if you are a winner, and success to me is in all arenas, not one. If a man is wealthy but is just fat and pasty and gross, you're not winning, man. If a man is something else going on behind the scenes, something else is suffering, it's not good.
Yeah. It is everything or nothing. And then people come up with this balance, and I'm like, fuck your balance, man. You don't need balance. You need output. You need alignment. You need to be as integrated as possible with what your vision, your mindset, your conversations with yourself and others, and then your actions. And people always try externally to change their actions in an effort to change their beliefs. But I'm all about efficiency. That's as backwards as it fucking gets. Change your beliefs. You change your thoughts, then you change your beliefs, which changes your actions, which changes your results. It is always that order. But people look externally and go, well, it's because of that, though. It's never because of whatever that is. The answer is always you, motherfucker. And that's what happened to me. Is I came out, and they told me it was going to be 14 days for me to leave the hospital, and I was home in 7. I would do lap after. I literally was relentless. They would yell at me. They called security on me, told me I was fucking up the hallway, like, you name it. Didn't matter. The doctor came in, he goes, you're ready to go. He goes, I've never seen, when I went for my follow-up, he goes, I've never seen anybody recover this fast.
I've got to ask you.
Go ahead.
You mentioned beliefs. Have to ask.
Yeah.
What are some of the beliefs that you have that you think carried you through that situation, allowed you to recover so quickly, that made you the man that you are today? Like, what beliefs, because you said that's what shapes everything that we are and everything that we do. What are some of your core beliefs that you think have gotten you through the immense, crazy obstacles that you've been through and the man you are now?
I have 6. It's always the same 6. It used to be 5 until I realized there's a 6th one, and it's been the underlying foundation of everything. And the first one is do the fucking work. And when I say do the work, like, you have to do the work. You cannot, people expect without output, right? That's the world we're in right now. They're like, why am I not getting the trophy? Well, you were never at the fucking practice, right? Like, show up.
Right.
And yet what happens is people go, well, the workout program didn't work, or the business program didn't work, or my marriage didn't work. But it's all because you didn't do the fucking work.
Yes, every time.
And it is 100% on you. Discipline is always the problem. Discipline is always the solution. And people don't learn discipline. They become disciplined. There's a difference. And here's the sketchy part. Everybody's disciplined. Everybody. It's usually the wrong direction.
Right.
They're disciplined as fuck to watch Game of Thrones, to get on Netflix, to get their Starbucks. They're disciplined to sit there and look up whatever fucking porn they're watching. Like, it doesn't matter what they're doing, but they're disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
What they're not disciplined is to do the uncomfortable, hard shit. But everything you want is on the other side of the work you're avoiding. And so that was my first core belief, is like, do the work. Whether I don't care. I will die before I don't do the work. And a lot of people come out and they're like, oh yeah, here we go, another one of these. Yeah, but I don't do it for you, man. I do it for me. Mm-hmm. I do it for the people in my life that count. Yeah. I do it so when I do the work, I know my self-value goes up. My credibility goes up because I never lie to myself.
So do you think an important part of being disciplined is playing for something bigger than yourself?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you don't have a purpose, you're going to struggle because you're seeking validation from something outside of who you are. Sure. And it's not possible. You cannot, the work and action you take is what gives you the worth. But most people look at that and go, well, my worth comes from something. It's like the people that go out and buy, whatever, like anything, like the Lambo or the Ferrari or anything, or the Porsche, whatever, it doesn't matter. But they buy it for the wrong pretense, which is they buy it to feel like they have value. But when the object is gone, their credibility and their value is gone. So they're renting credibility. They buy a Rolex.
That's a good way to put it.
25. What's that?
That's a great way to put it. They're renting credibility.
They're renting credibility. Like, if you buy this $25,000 Submariner, and you're wearing it, it's like super dope. Love the watch. You take it off, your credibility's gone. You are not the same person because you are getting credibility from an object. If you do the work, you cannot have less than what you are. The worth is so high. Your self-value is so fucking high, which is, I said it to my wife when this guy was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll never see this video. And I went, boom, it just tagged you on it, ghosted. Because I know I do what I say. It's like you said, oh, the cars are rented. Here's the pink, motherfucker. Like, and I don't do it to prove, because like I say to my family, I go, you don't have to prove anything to anyone, but you got to prove it to yourself.
Yes.
That's vital. I don't give a fuck about the people that are like, that's pretty narcissistic. And call me narcissistic. Fuck, I don't care. It's this. I don't give a shit about anyone else's opinion compared to my opinion of myself. Mm-hmm. Because if my opinion of myself is second to yours, I'm going to have problems. That's why I think being humble is the dumbest thing in the world. People, you should get some humility. You should be humble. I will be humble before God. To be humble before anyone else is to put their opinion and values above yours.
100%.
Why would I do that? Because then I start being soft and I start accepting. Now I'm living their dreams, their timeline. Why would I do that? Then I'm not living my purpose and my vision. I'm living someone else's, which is where
most people, crabs in the bucket. Most people don't
pull you back down.
Exactly. So if you're too humble and too accepting of everybody else's bullshit, you're going to play on the same level as them, because they're always going to try to drag
pull you back down. That's exactly it. They look at you and I go, people talk about how they love you unconditionally. And I firmly believe that most people love you under one condition, that you do not become better than they do. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where people go, well, yeah, but it's my brother. I mean, he loves me and he cares about me. If he wraps up his control and insecurity of your life in concern for you and going, well, we want what's best for you. He doesn't. Because if it's keeping you down, they don't. And if your circle is doing anything other than cheering when you win, bye. Dump your fucking circle. Dude, you cannot hang with people that are running at a lower frequency than you. That's why I said at the beginning, I'm going to be so offensive, so fucking obnoxious to people, where I just run so high that they can't stand being around me.
Drive them out right away, immediately. Absolutely. They won't even approach getting close because you're going to drive them away immediately.
Well, that's like you. Like I can hang out with you all day because we run at the same fucking speed.
Exactly.
But people don't, because they get very uncomfortable, and then what they start doing is picking it apart, right? I love haters, because what I love about haters is they hate on what they've quit themselves, and they want what you have. If you have a hater, anybody watching this, if you have a hater, why are you giving a fuck about their opinion? They want your life. They want what you have. Don't think anything else. Because to look at them and go, well, but they don't like me. So they want your life, motherfucker.
They want your life, but they don't want to do the work. What you did or been through what you've been through to get there.
I ask people all the time. They're like, you want my life? Okay, I love it. Are you willing to go through everything I've gone through in the last 20 months? You willing to lose a lot?
People, less than 1% of 1% actually have the balls to do what you did and what you went through.
And I had to. Most people, you're right. And I left the hospital in a wheelchair. I was 153 pounds on oxygen, 12 different meds. And they went, this is going to be your new life. You'll never run. You'll never be physically fit. You'll never do anything like that. Cool. Keep betting against me. Fuck, keep betting against me. I'll keep knocking it out of the park. Now we run a mile every day, and I do it with one lung. Like, fuck, I don't get it when people go, I'm going to allow them to determine my life. I can't. I determine my life.
Because other people always try to impose those limitations on you.
Their limitations on me, right? And they will try and sell you on where they quit.
Yes.
Don't come around me. You're a toxic motherfucker. I don't want you anywhere near. I don't even allow people like that in my life anymore. And people go, well, that's pretty rude. No. If you're not going to level up, I have no time. And it's not meant to be rude. It's like, fucking step up your game. This ain't a rehearsal.
Right.
You know, and when people go, I want a better life.
This is the only, we're alive. This is the only shot. You get 100 warm up.
You get 100 great things happen in your day, and people focus on the one shitty thing. I'm like, your ratio's off, man. Focus on the 100 great things. That's why I do that same routine every morning. Same stretches, same, like I do 50 pull-ups, 100 air squats, 50 push-ups, and 100 bicycles every morning.
I love hearing the morning routine. Real quick, before we jump into that, I would love for you to meet my my wife real quick, Geneva, and our first child.
Hey, Geneva. Oh my God. Let me see that baby.
Yeah, get in here.
I'm sitting with you.
Oh my God. That is so long ago for us.
Little Ada.
So
she's our first one, Ada Jane.
Oh, that's a strong name.
Thank you.
Strong name for a strong family.
Yes. She had to come say hi to you real quick first.
You are both beautiful, by the way.
Oh, thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm so proud of you guys. I'm grateful to know you guys. That is so awesome, man.
Us too.
Seriously, it only gets better. The best thing in the world is being a dad. I love being a dad. You know,
dude, me too, bro. I've been telling everybody this is the best thing in the world. Being a dad doesn't get any better.
Being a dad and a husband, the coolest thing in the world. Anyone that complains about it, dude, you're doing it wrong.
Exactly.
You're doing it wrong.
Exactly.
You either married the wrong person or you're not all in.
That's right.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So
you have a beautiful baby.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. This kid is, you know how much God has blessed me beyond what I deserve. This kid sleeps from 9 p.m. to 10 a.m. almost every single night. Almost every single night, man.
Training.
Crazy. It's crazy. And she's just she's perfect. Just a little side note, my wife and I, we went through 3 miscarriages. We lost 3 before we had Ada, and it was it was fucking tough.
Yeah. You understand there was a reason though, right?
Of course. 100%.
And that's the hardest, most jagged pill is to go, had that come to fruition, your life would have been catastrophic.
You know, what's interesting, man, is that we had to go through, after the last major one, a very serious turning point in our relationship that made us more solid than we've ever been. So it's so funny to watch that work, how we had that last miscarriage. We went through a tumultuous time in our relationship, and it just made us closer, more solid, and now we have her. And
you know what you did, right? So here's what I tell people all the time. It's one of the most critical things I drive home to people that join our coaching program, and that is this. Don't ask for you. If you want better, if you want bigger, if you want the life, you must be prepared to accept everything demanded of you prior to that point. Mm-hmm. You will be tested, you will be pushed, you will struggle, because everything you want is on the other side of that struggle. Yep. You ask for the test. So when people go, I want all the money, everybody asks for money, right? Well, that's fine. There's so much money in the fucking world right now. I love when people are like, oh, the economy.
Everywhere. It's everywhere.
Literally stick out a bucket. You could make so much money. If you're not, you're a fucking fool. I tell people all the time, dude, if you're not making money, find somebody that is and ask them. Like, that's why I tell people, join my fucking program. Dude, you will make, just crazy. If you listen to everything I tell you, you will have $1 million business.
What program is this?
So it's the Spartan Army program. I coach people from 0 to, well, usually 1 million, but if people want to go bigger, but I have people that come in that are like CEOs come in, they're like, dude, I cannot do shit right now. I don't know what happened to my business.
Right.
But that's the point, is they just need an observer instead of a participant. Mm-hmm. So then I come in and I look at it and I rip it apart and I go, dude, let's do this.
Where would somebody go if they wanted to join?
You go to either Smashworks, you go to my Instagram, you go to YouTube. There's a link on there that takes you right to an application. You can send me a DM and go, what do I do? How do I join?
Yeah.
Like I get probably 3,000, 4,000 messages. I get about 5,000 messages a day, but about 3 to 4K every probably week asking me, what the fuck do I do? Most of them are people going, I totally want to do it. And then I go, this is what's involved. They're like, do you have anything easier? I'm not your guy.
No, not your guy.
I turn more people away, and most people go, come on, he doesn't do that. Fuck, I will turn away. One of my friends is Bradley, right? And do you know who he is?
Love that guy. Dude,
that guy's so badass. Love so just that there's some big shit coming that he and I are doing. I'll just leave it at that. So but he'll turn away $100 million deal because it ethically isn't right.
He's doesn't align with him.
Yeah, he's a good dude. And I try and explain that to people. I go, dude, grabbing at money will not make you rich. It'll make you desperate.
Right.
And it will make you beholden to the people that have the money, instead of having a very specific program. Like Lamborghini, the funniest ad they ever made is only one. They only made one. They go, we don't advertise. Why? Because the people that buy Lamborghinis don't give a shit about our advertisements. Yeah. They just come in and buy.
Yeah.
Right. And it's the truth, and so you're playing at a different level. Like my joke is always, market to rich people, they pay better. But at the same time, I don't care. Like my programs aren't 100. I do actually have $100,000 program, but you have to be making 2.5 million to even, that's the barrier to entry. If you're not
if I'm a young guy that's, maybe in a sales career or just starting out, I just need some mentorship, some guidance, some just an alpha male like you to help me. What would that look like cost wise? On
12 months basic Spartan Army is $19.99. It's $2,000. That's $165 a month. It's fucking peanuts.
The guys listening to me, if you can't invest $2,000 into your development, you ain't ready to get it yet.
You're not.
Invest $2,000 into making yourself a better person and being around guys like this guy, it's like you're not ready yet. You're not
unreal.
Ready.
Because I tell people, I go, listen, they go, well, what do I get with that? I go, well, fitness first. Oh yeah, but I need mindset. Let me back up. Fitness first. You will work out. I'm going to get you fucking jacked. I don't care if you say no. You're going to train. I'm going to fix your nutrition. Every week I go on and I do a live coach call for an hour every Saturday. Q&A, and I solve problems. They're like, fuck, I can't get my marriage right. I can't do this. Help me with that. And I just go bam, 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 bam. And then I drop a huge mindset hit on them. And they get to join my community where I have got 2.5 years of fucking coach calls in an archive. Plus me. You get to access me personally. Right. It's not a bot. And I'm like, for $2,000? Holy, and people like, oh, I don't know. I got to think about it.
Nothing.
this is the best part is, and I do this all the time, and I'm sure there's somebody watching that's going, "Wow, the motherfucker did that to me," and they'll be like, "Okay, give me like a day to think about it." Cool. 10 minutes later, I'm like, "All right, are we kicking tires? Are you fucking in?" "Oh, I just need a little bit more time in." "I don't. I'm out."
Out.
And they're like, "Wait, what? Are you kidding me? You're not fast enough." And people go, "Well, that's pretty douchey." No, I want someone that's going to do it, like do what they fucking say. And that's part of that's literally the vetting process is, are you going to do what you say? Like my business program is only 10 grand for the year. And I handhold you from 0 to $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
What other fucking
Think
program
about the return, the ROI on 10 grand over $1 million. You know,
unreal. And there's so many people that have done it, and they're like, "I don't know, man. That's a lot of money." There's a lot of these gurus. I've been at this for a decade. You can like, it's not like I'm some weird guy like, "Hey, we just heard about Trevor." I'm everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at the people I play with.
Andy Frisella follows you.
Yeah. And
Ethan Smith follows you. Joe Rogan follows you.
Like I play with big players, and I think people don't get that. And it's not, I'm not being arrogant about it. I'm going, I earned that. You know, like when you go hang out
without
Andy Elliott has become, Andy and Jackie Elliott have become literally some of our best friends. Mm-hmm. And they're crushing. The guy does 150 million a year. You know, Brad, we became great. Brad and Melissa, great friends. Like these are people like Wes Watson's one of my best fucking friends. I've known him for 5.5 years. Literally, when he got out of prison, 3 months later, I became friends with Wes. You know, like Bedros Keuilian, and I'm not saying it to drop names. I'm just these people.
Bedros is the man, bro.
You know, what's funny is like people go, "I don't know, is he really?" I'm like, "Are you shitting me?" Like, this is the best. Like, what's that name right there? Bradley. Right? Like he just, like we just talked. Like I have so many of these fucking people, and people are like, "I don't know." I'm like, listen, let me help you out. Big dogs play with big dogs. Like Ryan Moran, I got Andy Frisella here. Like I got all these people here but they're people that I've earned a place with, right? And I think some of the problem is people fangirl and fanboy out when they see somebody like that. I don't. Mm-hmm. I just go, and this, I'm going to give advice to everybody out there that goes, "Well, how do I get into that network?" Watch this. Give them something you're really fucking good at. If you send them a message, when people send me a message, you go, "Bro, how can I bring you value? How can I do something for you?" You're forcing me to think.
Right.
You're forcing me to tell you your job. Fuck, I don't know. But I'm already like, dude, that's weak. Right. If somebody goes, "Here, this. Oh, yeah, now let's see." Like my new video guy, this guy, Johnny, the most dope fucking kid. He just dropped a bunch of videos into my messaging and says, "Here you go. I chopped these up from hanging out at Andy's event the other day on Friday." And he's like, "I got tons more for you, whatever you need." I hired him on Saturday.
That's how you do it. You present the value first.
Yes.
And it's so simple.
People stand, fuck, you and I get it, but they stand in front of the fireplace and they go, okay, give me some heat, and then I'll give you the wood. You're fucking broken. But that's the world right now. They're like, "I don't know if I want to give something. What if I don't get paid for it?
What if I don't get anything back?" And the thing is, what if anybody young listening to this, or anybody at any stage of their life, is that there is a certain period of time where you're going to have to just absolutely just eat shit.
Take a big ass bite
before you ever see any kind of return.
Yep.
It could be 2 years, could be 4 years,
it could be 5.
What's funny to me, bro? What's so funny to me is that people will go and spend 150 grand on a college degree.
They come out make minimum wage.
Zero and come out making like 50 million other people on paper. They're okay with making that sacrifice. But when it comes to building a business or investing in your program,
social conditioning, right?
It's crazy. Social conditioning is
hypnosis of social conditioning is so powerful. That dogma, that paradigm that goes, listen, like I will be the first. I will go on film. Fuck college. Fuck college.
All day, every day.
Waste of time. Fuck college. Fuck it. It is the dumbest thing in the world ever. Unless you want to get something that demands a degree. Like if you have to get it. Other than that, fuck that noise. Mm-hmm. Dude, we make more in 1 month than I ever made in a year. Like we do well over $500,000 a month, like like all fucking day, no problem. And the goal is $1 million. Once we hit $1 million, it'll be 2, then 3, then 5, then 10. Like that's just the goal.
Let's go.
But I don't look at it as anything other like, hey, look how much I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit. Life changes after 50 grand a month. I tell everybody this. Once you get about 50 grand a month, life changes. There's almost nothing you can't really do.
Right.
You know, and people go, oh, I couldn't imagine doing that. That's why you're not there, because you don't think you deserve it.
You know what's so funny that you said 50 grand, man? That's where I can remember my wife and I, when we hit that benchmark a couple of years ago, like, you know, I can remember her saying to me, like, hey, we just get to do whatever the hell we want to do, when we want to do it, how we want to do it. And I think it was right around that 50 grand a month mark.
It's that sweet spot. And I try and explain that to people, but they have to be willing to accept it. And most people go, dude, I would love to have that. I'll be very honest. Most people couldn't handle the amount of money we make. Between all of our companies, we do 7 figures a month. Mm-hmm. And I guarantee you that people couldn't handle that level of success. They couldn't handle the level of fitness we have. They couldn't handle and it's not, people go, oh, that's pretty arrogant, but they couldn't handle be jacked as fuck like my wife and I. They couldn't handle it because they don't have the emotional maturity or the financial maturity or just the maturity in general to do it. So what'll happen is, like, I'll hand them $1 million a month business and they'll be fucking broke inside of 6 months.
Look at what happens to lottery winners. Look at the lottery winners.
2.5 years.
If somebody $10 million, they're broke. They're worse off 2 years later, because this is the way I describe it.
No maturity, none.
When you're building wealth, it's like you just start benching. You just start with the bar. And then you start with the bar with a 10 and a 10. And then a 30, 25, 25, 35, 30. Then you're doing 135 with 245s. And then you're working up to 2 plates to hit 225. And it's like, if I just gave you that bar with 225 and you've never bench pressed before, it's going to crush. It's going to cave your fucking chest in.
Dude, you're going to die.
All of the things that we go through on our way to, like you said, building a 7-figure business builds that tensile strength that allows us, because people think like, dude, you think you got problems making 60 grand a year?
You just get $1 million problems.
Exactly.
You just arrive at your problems in style.
Exactly.
You just arrive in style. But your problem, like if you make $1 million a month, you have $1 million a month problems. Yes. You make $100 million a month, you have $100 million a month problems. And people don't understand that. But people's struggles nowadays, Mike, it's like they go, well, yeah, but you know, they gave me the wrong coffee. I asked for ice and they gave me a hot coffee. And I'm like, that's your struggle. That's your fucking struggle. And every time I just want to go, dude, I have one lung.
Right.
Like, you don't know what struggle is, but everything that came to destroy me made me. Like, that's...
You didn't get your fat ass to the gym because of whatever, but you got one lung. You're
unbelievable. Like, I get the message. It's the most consistent message I get outside of how much people go, dude, I love how you and your wife are. It's the number one message I get from people. The number two is, anytime I feel like I'm being a little bitch, I just watch one of your things and realize he has one fucking lung. Mm-hmm. And he's there. And you know what's interesting is there's two sides to that camp, right? Is one goes, holy shit, that's badass. And the other one goes, yeah, but it's probably not real, because they need to placate themselves to feel better about their own. Like, excuses are made to make you feel better for quitting, right? They only sound good to the people that made them.
Always.
Right? And that's so weak, which is why, like we were talking about, like core values, do the work, do the fucking work. Number two is I actually came out from the hospital and all these things, they came into me, for lack of a better explanation, after I went through hell. And it was like, I needed to go through that. The old version of myself needed to die. And I know this. I asked, and I got a lot of static for what I'm about to say, but I asked to have my lung removed. I asked for cancer. I've been through cancer 4 times. When I met my wife, they gave me 9 months to live. And I said, like, I blew $1 million inside of 3 months. I had lots of friends, blew lots of money, right? Because you have lots of friends when you spend money on them. And I remember sitting in my apartment, flat broke, mad at God. I hated my parents. My dad was a preacher. Like, I hated everybody. I was a bitter, bitter fucking man. Yeah. Weak, super weak. And I remember looking out my patio doors, and I was in my 2nd floor, just this little shitty apartment, crappy couch, nothing. Like, I was broke. And I was mad at God, and I said, you know what? You better give me a fucking reason to be here, because I thought God was trying to kill me, right?
Yeah.
And my dad, as a preacher, he's like, dude, that's not how God works, man. That's not what he does. And I realized when you ask for something, God goes, here's an opportunity to be that. Right. And it's different. And that's the test. Well, I wanted this big, amazing, I had a huge vision. And God went, okay, here are all the tests. Show me, motherfucker. Show me what you
Here's
got.
what it's going to take to build.
Yeah, this is the work. This is the struggle.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand that 18 years ago. I didn't. And so it took repeated, like people try and drown out the noise of the universe when it gives you the signal of regret and pain. But those are signals. When you pay attention, pivot. And most people don't. And I think that that signal is so vital because that's like a GPS. It tells you where to go. Just pay attention. Except what they do is they turn the noise up on their distractions. Well, the universe goes, you're not going to outmuscle me, motherfucker. And it just hammers you to death until you get it. So I sat there on the floor and I went, you better give me a reason because I'm going to fucking do it myself. And I chambered around. And I was going to end it. I was like, I'll fucking do it myself. I'm done. And then I started bawling my eyes out and I fell asleep. And 2 days later, I met my wife. And the second I met her, an hour into our very first date that day, I'm sitting across from her going, I gotta fucking tell her I have cancer, man. Holy shit. They gave me 9 months. And I said, I gotta tell you something. And she goes, is it about cancer? And I'm like, yeah, that's weird. How do you know? And she said, well, people at the gym, she was a trainer. And she goes, people at the gym, they've been seeing you and like you're coughing up blood and you're pretty sick. And they just told me like, you're not doing so well. And I said, Brandy, they didn't give me a lot of time. And she said, she didn't miss a beat, Mike. She goes, I don't care. She goes, 2 months, 2 days, 2 years. She goes, I don't care. She goes, I'll take it. 3 months, I started bawling. And 3 months later, we were engaged. 3 months after that, we were married. 7 months later, we had our daughter. All things they said would never happen. And I've been stacking wins ever since because I don't see, she's been calling herself my angel since the day we met.
She was.
She was 100%. She said to me that day, she goes, I'm your angel. I'm here to protect and save you. And I shit you not. Who the fuck says that to somebody? She did. And like, I have a tattoo on my shoulder. It's angel wings in a heart with a cross in the center. It's all about her and our life. And I think to myself, if you don't believe in miracles, you're not looking hard enough because you're fucking not paying attention.
They're everywhere.
Like even when I said sitting on the bed going, thank you, God, for, and knock, 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 your surgery is going to be tomorrow. Holy shit, right? Like, but people beg for things. You're never going to get what you beg the universe for. Thank the universe. And when you get presented with a test, take the fucking test. And that's where people struggle. They go, I want this big life. Then you want everything that comes with it.
Yeah.
And they don't want that. They just want the results. Well, you're never going to have the results because you're never showing up to practice.
100%.
You know, and so that was where I went, you're going to die. Like I laid in the hospital. I'm like, what are you doing, man? You're going to fucking die. What are you waiting for? You're going to fucking die. You don't get to do this again. Why are you giving a fuck about anything but where you want to go and take your family and people that you love with you?
Right.
And I went, fuck it. And I've been all gas ever since that day. And those are the two things. And then the next one was do what you say, man. Do you know how much credibility you give yourself when you do everything you say you're going to do? Like, it's funny. I just happen to have it in here. This is
because so few people do.
Yeah, this is my GSD book. Every night, I just happen to have it here. I write in here every night, everything I'm going to do the next day, everything. I even write down how I'm going to wake up and how I'm going to feel. And I write it down every night. And there have been times where I've been in bed and I write sometimes when I'm in bed. Brandy's asleep and I'm writing and I'm tired and I can feel my eyes. You know, you keep writing the same sentence over and over again. You're like, okay, I got to go to bed. And I'm just about to go to sleep and I went, fuck, I didn't do my GSD. Right. What do you think I did? Got up, turned everything on bright, banged it out because it's that important. Because one thing I pride myself in, and a lot of people, they talk this talk, but they don't walk it. I never miss. I don't. Ever. I refuse. I will die before I fucking miss. I will die. And that is do what you say. Like if you just do what you say and that's all that you did, your life will be radically different.
Way different.
And most people don't. But that's why I can say it very confidently because people go, yeah, bullshit. No, I do. That's the best part is I know it. So I know my platform is strong, you know, and the fourth one is take risks, man. Like that's one of my core principles is take fucking risks because if you don't take risks, nobody's ever gotten rich by playing safe. Nobody's gotten happy by playing safe. Nobody's gotten stronger by playing safe. Playing safe fucks up your shit.
Every single time. Nobody's done anything special.
No, there you go. You just said you haven't done anything special if you're playing safe. And I think that when you go, okay, but how much risk? As much as you can fucking tolerate. Because you get in life what you're willing to tolerate. Well, just fucking tolerate all the risk, all of it. Because if you look at your life and you go, oh, but I've got these struggles, I already know everywhere in somebody's life, when they start coaching with me, I can tell you where all your struggles are right now when we have a conversation. Wherever you're playing safe and wherever you're missing, that's where you're struggling. And they go, I don't know. And I go, let's talk it out. And we go through it and they're like, holy shit, we're going to change that right now. And I start just giving them coaching assignments, And then the last one is vulnerable, like with your spouse, man. Like, you've got to be vulnerable. You give them all the tools to utterly destroy you, just fucking obliterate you, knowing they're not going to do it. And if you aren't willing to do that, you're not going to be in the place you want to be. You'll wish for it. People go, oh, I wish you watch Netflix. I wish my marriage was like that. Stop wishing, fucking do it.
Just make it happen. Just do it.
Just do it. When you can give in, when you can give everything you've got and go, you know what? Here you go. Here's everything, every vulnerability, every fear, every strength, every conflict, everything I've got. And I'm exposing it all to you. Knowing they're not going to destroy you. They're going to take it and they're going to make you much more robust. They're going to galvanize your own platform. Then you're doing the right thing. But people quite often marry the wrong person because they're going to settle. And I go, if you aren't with somebody that's cheering for you, you're with the wrong person.
Right.
And they're like, dude, but we've been together for 20 years and you've been wasting 20 years of your life. Fucking get a divorce. And people hate that. They're like, that's so, why would you do that? I go, because you're fucking up their life because you're selfish.
Right.
You're selfish, man. Like, we had to go through hell till we finally went, okay, all in. And that's exactly what you just said. The test was, here are all the fucking most brutal waves, the most intense catastrophes you can have between you and your wife. Get through them. The other side of that, you have the most bulletproof marriage in the world.
Bro, you guys are...
That's what we had to do.
So inseparable now at this point.
She's, there's nothing like, I will die to protect her and to give her the life that I believe she deserves. And she's the same with me. I don't have any secrets. When people are like, oh, well, does your wife know this? Yep. What about this? Yep. You know how indestructible you feel on both sides of that equation?
Any secret that the other side doesn't know about is a hole in the defenses. You know what I mean? It might not show up today, tomorrow, a week, a month, but 2 years, 3, it's going to show up somewhere. You know? And
that's, you're right. And that's what I go, listen, if you are in a place where you are present in your relationship, then it doesn't matter what happened. If somebody presents this fucking catastrophe, they're like, oh yeah, she worked at the fucking bunny ranch for 2 years and, fucked 4,000 dudes and had this crazy wild life. And she's got 17 kids with like 17 different dudes. And you're like, yeah, but is she doing that now? No, I don't care. I can't unring that bell. The fuck difference does it make? Yeah. But you know what people do? I made a comment about haters one time, and this one just pink ass fucking cupcake comes in and goes, oh, the lack of accountability here is just like incredible. It's appalling. And I'm like, why would I be accountable to my mistakes over and over and over again?
Right.
First of all, you're accountable for me. I don't have to fucking worry. You're going to point out all my shit. In fact, here's the shovel. Because if they cannot attack who you are right now, they will attempt to attack who you used to be. Yeah, except the issue, the issue is when you know who you are, who you used to be is dead. So it doesn't matter. And that's what I try to explain.
Ooh, I like that. When you know who you are, who you used to be is dead.
It's dead. It's dead. There's nothing there because it doesn't exist. And the only way it exists is if you look back and acknowledge it. And that's what weak people do. They go, well, yeah, but do you remember when you did this? Sure do. Well, holy shit. Like, why would somebody do that? I don't know. Why would they? But that was 7 years ago. It's not today. The past and the future are such an infinitely deep abyss that you will never cross. Why give them any attention?
Right.
And yet that's like, and people spend more time concerned about the opinions of others than of themselves. And that's where that corruption comes from, is they start looking, going, well, maybe they're right. Except the mindset of another man is of no consequence or opinion of mine until I allow it to be. In which case, then it becomes.
For anybody.
it's none of my business.
Mm-hmm.
And so the opinions of someone that they have of me, I don't care. People, that's pretty fucking arrogant. No, it's confident. You just don't like it because I don't value your opinion more than mine.
Right.
And that's where, like, I just don't. But I think that's how a man should be. It's how a woman should be. It's how people should be. Know yourself and know your worth. And the only time people get shaky on their worth is when they aren't who they say they are.
Mm-hmm. And people are so conditioned to believe that you are what other people say you are.
Yeah.
You know? They're so conditioned to believe that they what you're talking about right now, being completely self-sufficient in your own view of oneself, is such a wildly just unfathomable idea to most people. It's
99% of the people out there, right? And yet the people go like I built, and people go, how did you get such a mindset? Because I created unrealistic goals, unfathomable work ethic, unyielding work and outcomes. And I've been absolutely relentless since that day. And I've never looked back. Like when we came home from the hospital, 7 days, supposed to be twice as long, right off the bat, God's working. Mm-hmm. I came home and my wife goes, what do you want to do? I hugged my kids. My son slept with my wife every fucking day.
Yeah.
He is such a stud. And my daughter, she just took care of the house. Like I have such a good family. I'm so blessed. And I look at that and I go, that is a reflection on me. It's a reflection on my wife.
100%.
Because no such thing as bad kids. They're shitty parents.
Mm-hmm.
And all the weak fucking parents that are watching this right now, if you don't like it, fucking buckle up. It's going to get bumpy. Because look in the mirror. Because if you look in the mirror and it's not who you admire, change it. Because the only person you're pointing a finger at is you. And if you don't like something in another person, you are seeing your reflection in them. Mm-hmm. And that's where they don't want that accountability. But what did I say? Accountability feels like an attack to those who hide behind their excuses.
Yes.
So I came home. Yeah, I came home and I said, I want to work out. So we were home for maybe an hour, hour and a half. And I had video of all of this just because it's fun. And I strapped a Rogue strap to me, 25 foot, put it on my weight belt, right? Looped it through, put it on the sled, dropped a 45-pound plate on. All I could do was walk. I had big giant, and 6 of them, right? Big giant holes in me. I still had a big pad on me because they just pulled. That's the craziest video. When they pulled 2 feet of tube out of me, fuck. It is. I posted that. People are like, oh. It was brutal. She's like, are you breathing? Are you breathing? Are you breathing?
I can't handle that one, man. That's so gross.
Dude, it was like a garden hose. 2 of them. Wild. I'll just have to send it to you. You're going to be like, oh, it's fucking bad.
Oh, my goodness.
She's like, she goes, you want to work out? And she supports me so much. Like, she's such, like, she makes me so fucking strong. And I do the same thing for her. We're indestructible as a team. And there's so much power in that, because nobody could come in and disturb that and disrupt that ever, no matter what they say. I just don't care. I just don't care. You could present me with the most gnarly shit. I don't care. My wife is the one that I look to and go, I got you, babe. We only have one statement, and it's the truth. And it is as blunt and as direct as it sounds. Anything you want, babe. It doesn't matter what it is. We don't, if I say it, okay, anything you want, babe. If she says it, okay, anything you want, babe. And it's not well, I have to do it because I said it. There really is no hesitation because we want to.
Right.
Most people go, well, what about this? Anything you want, babe. Well, what about this? It's always some dude that's like, well, what if it's this? I'm like, listen, first of all, get your mind out of the gutter. And second of all, yeah, fuck yeah. Right? Yes. Like, dude, people don't get it. You have the best fucking sex life when you literally just have no filters.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't get that. I'm like, you're struggling because you're not honest.
Right. 100%. You're not being the true version of yourself to the true version of their self.
Correct. And it's what I ask people. Who were you before somebody told you who you should be?
Mm-hmm.
And it's always the same. So we walked outside and I got a video. I said, Captain America is going to call me and ask me how I got so jacked, right? I was just making all these funny comments. And I started walking around my driveway. And she's like, when do you want me to come get you? I said, when I collapse. And that's when she did. She helped me back into the house. I was done. Like, it took me, I don't even remember how long I was out there, a long time. I was just dragging, talking away, and then I couldn't talk because I was out of breath. And I've never missed since. Never missed. And that's, you asked, what changed that? Because I was running at 95%, but it wasn't enough.
Right.
I needed to, you are 100. And I think what the world has been, people have caught, like I said at the beginning, is that you don't need to run at 100. You don't, but then don't expect the results.
Right.
You want to have the giant company, it takes 100%.
Yeah.
You want to have the fitness, 100%. You want to have the marriage, 100%. And until then, you will find reasons to struggle and you will create them yourself.
Mm-hmm.
People will defend their position on account of their ego. They know where they are is somewhere they don't like. They know that they're fat.
Hate where they're at.
Yeah, they hate where they're at. They hate their marriage. They hate their life. They hate their body. They get in the car and they drive to the job they fucking hate, in traffic they can't stand, living in an area they don't want to live in, coming back to a house they can't stand, in a marriage that they just fucking hate because they're making it like that.
Right.
And they will defend it. They will go to war to defend it in by way of their own excuses.
Yes.
Well, my circumstances are different, though. You don't understand.
Somehow different than everybody else's.
Yeah, I have to pay bills. I have to do this. Yep. Why don't you pay your bills and still have 100 grand left over every month? Well, that's not realistic. That's exactly it. Unreasonable and unrealistic as fuck.
That's why you are
the way I live.
Mm-hmm.
Because people go, well, you're not everybody's born that way. I love this because I go, yes, you are. It's like people go, oh, not everybody wants to be jacked. Yes, you do. Mm-hmm. Nobody goes to bed going, I hope I wake up fatter and more broke and more miserable and have a shittier mindset in marriage when I wake up.
Nobody
does that.
No.
And yet they still defend the position on account of their ego. So what they do is they send their ego into the game and bench the person. The minute you swap that,
that's a great way to put it.
Yeah, the minute you swap that and you become coachable. You are uncoachable when your ego is being sent into the game, because your ego does things on account of itself, going, yeah, but I want to. Yeah, but it's not giving you the results.
Right.
It doesn't matter. I refuse to be wrong. They're so afraid of being wrong that they defend the weak place that they're at all the way until they're dead, and then they die with regret, wishing they would have done something different.
Yep.
I don't have time for that. I'm building the most, like, I just made a comment the other day. I go, we are building the biggest fucking coaching company in the world. Mm-hmm. And you can either come along or you can watch. You're either a participant or a spectator, but either way, we're going to do it. And I have some huge hitters that are playing in the game with me. And I'm like, watch, because I'm tired of people struggling and not having a place to go.
Right.
To go, how do I learn? What do I do? And then there's like, well, a little bit here and a little bit there. No. The most elite fucking people, the most jacked men and women, the most money, the greatest marriages, the best fucking businesses, the most killer mindset. That's what we're building. Killers, nonstop killers. There are people like you, people like me. And people struggle with that. And they're like, oh, listen to this fucking alpha douche. Yep. You can, but you're going to be looking at my taillights and us working out all the time because we love life. I cannot help that you don't love where you are. Mm-hmm. But do not mistake your misery for my mindset. Mm-hmm. It's not at all the truth, right? And so that's all that transpired when I came out of the hospital. And every day I'd wake up negative as fuck when I came out. Like, I would train with oxygen. My first set of squats, Mike, I could do 5. And you could see them, like, I'm all skinny. My knees are all giant. And I cramped up and I had to wait. I had to catch my breath. My wife used to run the oxygen machine. The hallway between the great room and the fitness studio outside is maybe 40 feet. Mm-hmm. And I'd take a bunch of puffs on the oxygen, and then I'd walk outside and she'd roll it down the hallway, unplugged, run outside, plug it in, turn it on, and hand it to me so I didn't pass out. And then I'd have to sit there for about 4 or 5 minutes, catch my breath, and then I'd start working out.
Yeah.
But I refuse to quit. You're not designed to quit. When people go, like I said, I'm not born that way. You are. And here's the proof. Mm-hmm. You walk, motherfucker.
That's right.
Walk. You think for a second that your beautiful little baby girl, when they start bumping their head into fucking shit and they're banging off the floor when they're learning to walk, you're gonna go, oh, no, don't walk, don't worry about it. You two are gonna be the ones that are like, dude, get up, let's do it again. They're going to have a knot on their head. They're going to get up and do it again. The kids don't quit. They quit when they catch that. They don't quit until an adult says, you should quit.
Right.
You know, and that's
conditioning, man.
It is all our, and people catch this fucking, there's like, soft doesn't sit well with me.
Mm-hmm.
And people go, dude, I wish I was as tough as you. I'm not tough at all, man. I'm not. I'm committed as fuck, though. If I say I'm going to do it, I'm in.
Gonna do it.
And that's rule 3. Do what you say.
Yes.
Like my kids know my rules because that's our whole, there's 10 commandments. I only have 6 rules.
Right.
It's easy. You know, and you guys are in the same place. And I think when people understand that they are in control, like life happens because of you. When you understand that life is something you get to do, it's not something you've got to do, everything changes.
Yes.
You know? And it starts with your fitness.
Perspective.
Yeah, perspective is always the same. If you pivot and understand that you create your body, the traits you have to create your fitness are the same ones to have a great business, to have a great marriage, to have a great family. They're all the same.
How you
But
do
you
one thing,
compartmentalize them. How you do everything. Absolutely. Dude, I love that, man. And it's fact. Every time I see you rocking around in that white chair, I just want to get one. It looks comfy as fuck.
Dude, this is how I run all my meetings here and everything, dude. It's so comfy.
How big's your team, man?
My team?
Yeah.
It depends. So we have the consulting company, we have the staffing company, we have the clothing line. Right now, you know, I have 3 like major partners, and then
send me all your links, by the way.
100%.
Yeah. And I'll make some noise on your behalf for sure, man.
I appreciate it. Well, thank you for spending it's been about an hour and a half, man. Thank you.
Dude, I could rap with you all day. This is so much fun.
I hope is the one of many that you and I do together.
Open invite anytime you want, man. You just send the word.
Bro,
I'll make
I appreciate that.
Fuck yeah. The world needs more of this, though. Like, we need to just be like just so obnoxiously offensive and just shove it in front of people to go level up.
Fucking faces, bro.
Yep.
I think we're both pretty good at that.
Dude, let's do it. I'm in. Dude, this was a rip, man. This is a banger. Send me all the links and stuff to this, and I'll have my editing guy chop up some shorts. I'll throw them at you too, so you can use them.
Wait, I will, man. Well, hey,
dude,
thank you so much, Doc. We appreciate you. Thank you for hopping on today, and man, I had a great time, and I'm sure this is one of many. So
absolutely. All right, Mike. Much love, brother.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
See you, dude.
See ya.